Hello, my name is Running the Galaxies, and I'm here to tell you that I love playing Uno, and I will be showing you ways that we can play the game Uno. Now, the correct way in the game to play Uno is you must try to get rid of as many cards as possible, and whoever has no cards in their hands is the winner. In order to get to that point, you must get rid of all your cards accordingly to the rules of each card that is played on from the deck. When you have one card left, you must say Uno before any other player says it to you. If they say Uno before you do, then you must pick up 2 cards and add it to your hand. So make sure that you remember to do that before your hand is empty, or else you may not win. When the game starts, there will be a card at the center. For example, this red 1. In order for the game to continue, the next player must put a card that matches the red 1. They may put the number 1, they may put a red card, or they may put a wild card or a +4. The player can put this red 4 because it is a red color, just like the previous card. There will be times where players may put the same color and have a different symbol. If a player puts the skip card, that means that they are skipping the next player's turn, and the next player may put the card. Let me look. Now, if a player puts the reverse card, that means that it is not the next player's turn. The tables turn in turn when the turns turn counterclockwise. For example, the player that has gone before the player that has put the reverse card is the one that goes next, and the turns go backwards. Now, there may be times where players may change the color of the cards. In order to do this, you need to have the same symbol or the same number, excluding the wild cards and the +4s. For example, the player may put a green reverse. The green reverse is allowed because previous to that was the red reverse. Now in this case, the reverse makes the turns go backwards to the way that things were. That means that the next player that was originally supposed to go is the one that goes next. Now, if cards, let's see what I have here to give you the next instruction. Let's say the play continues with the blue 6. If the next player has a red as a 6, they may put it down. In this case, the red 6 may go after the blue 6 and change the color because they are both 6. There may be times where, for example, a card is playing and someone may put the draw 2. When the draw 2 is put down, that means that the next player has to pick up 2 cards and they lose their turn. If someone puts down the draw 4 card, then the next player needs to pick up 4 cards. The player that set down the card is able to change the color for the second player that goes after the player that has to pick up 2 cards. And they have to put the color that has been requested by the player. In the same instance, if a player puts down a wild card, then they may change the color that is being played by the next player. The only other choice in these 2 instances is that the next player may put wild cards or +4s down. This is a wild card with swapping hands. The image on the picture shows you what is self-explanatory. You have to switch hands with a player of your choosing in order to work this card. And then play goes as continued after the player has requested the color they wanted. This is an empty wild card. An empty wild card suggests that you may write your own rule on the blank you see before you. And any rule may apply to that card that it has been written when it's set down by the player. And I believe that is all you need to know about regular Uno. If you wish to play stacking Uno, which sometimes people refer to when they want to play their own version of Uno, this is what they mean. Sometimes there may be a card that is set down in a number or symbol. If a player happens to have the same amount of numbers or symbols, then they may set them all down in the same turn instead of just putting one card at a time, just like in regular Uno. As you can see, the player is able to put the yellow 4 and the blue 4 on top of the red 4 because they are both 4s. This is called stacking. The same principle applies if you have anything in play at the moment and the next player decides to put 2 draw 2s behind the number or symbol when appropriate to put down. The player is able to put both draw 2 cards because they are the same symbol, even though they are different colors. This does not mean that you have permission to put different numbers and different symbols in the same turn. You have to take turns to put the different symbols. The only exception is having the same type of number or same type of symbol. Another game tactic besides the stacking is the attack and counterattack. Sometimes a player may put a draw 2 to make the other player take 2 cards. However, they may attack them by placing another draw 2 and then making the next player take 4 cards. Like so, if a player puts down a draw 2, then the next player may put down the draw 4 to make the other player take 6. This is an attack. Now, if there were a player that had put a draw 2 on top of a draw 2 that's already here, and then the next player puts a draw 2, and then the next player puts the draw 2, then that means they are counter-attacking that attack of the draw 2. And you would see 3 draw 2s. If a player has put down a draw 4, a draw 2 cannot be used to attack because the 4 is bigger than the 2. When someone puts a draw 2, they are able to put the draw 4 to defend themselves because the 4 is bigger than the 2. When playing Uno, there are different players all over the world that have their own versions and rules that they have made up to play their version of Uno. However, the stacking and the attack is the most common used. And if you did not know about them, then you do now. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoy playing Uno in many different ways, including the ways that I love, which is the stacking plus attack, which is the funnest way to play Uno. Bye! Just please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can see more content like this one and many other random things that I have to show you. I hope that you have enjoyed our time together.